when you talk about musicians, recording artists that were taken from us too soon, I think for most people, the one that I hear brought up most is John Lennon, probably.
Sure.
Who comes to mind for y'all?
Oh man, there's a lot. I mean,
so many.
I mean, you know, people always talk about the 27 Club with like Hendrix and Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Amy Winehouse too, right?
I guess she is in the 27 Club.
Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Forget how old Elliott Smith was, but you know, we lost him to suicide. Then there's some people that, you know, only did like a few albums and then they were gone, like Jeff Buckley, artist from the 90s. I think he had like 1 or 2 albums before he was gone.
The guitarist Randy Rhodes was like 22 when he died.
Yeah.
He was super young.
The story of his death is wild.
Yeah.
It basically, just to sum it, I heard this the other day. I guess I didn't know the full story, but, and I don't know if it's a good idea to tell it right now.
No, go for it.
But basically, long story short, they're like in their tour bus. I feel like it was some random place like New Mexico or something like that, like some kind of random ass state to be touring through, and band members were taking a nap in the bus, and I guess they're at like some RV park or some bus area, and one of them meets some guy and he's like, hey, I've got like this plane, like who wants to go up in the plane? And so they do that, and like for fun they come flying right by the bus, like to disturb the people sleeping, and they just keep doing that over and over, and then one time it nails the bus. And
shit.
I can't remember if Randy Rhodes was in the plane or in the bus.
On the bus.
I'd always heard he was in the plane.
I think he was in the plane, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, dude, this is just for doing something kind of stupid.
Yeah.
It's such a shame.
Yeah.
Buses, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cliff
planes.
Burton, too.
Yep.
Bass player for Metallica.
Oh, that's right.
Man.
Yep. Planes, yeah. Dude, private planes.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the number one
Stevie
cause.
Ray Vaughan,
yeah,
man.
I was going to say Stevie Ray
Leonard
in
Skinner.
the plane. Yeah.
Like
Skinner.
half the band.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Buddy Holly?
Yeah, that's a plane.
Yep.
Dwayne Allman got T-boned by a bus when he was on a motorcycle, I think.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But Marvin Gaye.
That's one that is so sordid and is so distinctive, because not only is it murder, I believe it was accidental. The story is that it was an altercation. But yeah, that was my reaction, because I found out about this recently. Where I'd always heard that his dad was just nuts.
Yeah.
And like very controlling, and it escalated to the point where
that's what it sounded like to me.
From what I've read and been told, it was like he was at like a family home that I think he might have bought his parents in Los Angeles, and his parents were just arguing, and Marvin tried to get in the middle of it, and it was just the dad, who was just completely flying off the handle, had a gun and accidentally killed him.
Yeah, I mean, that's some...
And cop to it. It's not like they had to go find him in
Right.
Mexico or anything. So, I mean, it was a...
The thing is, it's like, why did he have a gun in his hand, though? Like,
he
was going to do harm to somebody, maybe.
They were going to charge him, I think with, I believe, like first-degree manslaughter or something.
That makes sense.
I think they suspended it because of his age, and he had a pretty advanced brain tumor at the time. As I understand it, he was pretty sick in more ways than one. Honestly, that's it sounds like the life of Marvin Gaye sounds pretty rough.
Oh, you mean Marvin was pretty sick?
Oh no, his father.
Oh, okay,
his father. But growing up and dealing with that, along with many other things.
Sure. Drug addiction.
Oh yeah.
Because I think what I heard was like he had like a coke addiction or something, and that's why he came home, and I guess that's when the altercation happened and he was killed.
Yep.
But yeah, one of the most bizarre music deaths.
Very
probably
strange.
getting shot by your own father.
Yes, seemingly
Semi-accidentally.
by just an offshoot of an argument that didn't really involve him.
Yeah.
From the sound of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
terrible.
It's sad that I hate that I think of that when I hear about him, because I love his music.
Yeah.
And I love this album that we talked about today, the 1971 concept album, What's Going On.
Yes.
Just so ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah.
And so it is. There's no other way around it. I mean, even if you don't like R&B, it's groundbreaking.
It's still so relevant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, as we will get
crazy.
into.
Yeah.
There were a few songs that I'd heard many times. I had never really given the album itself much thought. The title song is what I think of when I hear What's Going On.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, I was I listened to it and for the first full time for this episode.
Same.
I'd heard almost every song, but had never gone through the entire thing. And then to do some little back reading on it after I got all my thoughts on it, I was stunned how much there was to this album. And it was a welcome surprise for me.
Yeah.
And
the production quality seemed amazing to me. Like
it
it sounded
did.
so good.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really
a
did.
lot going on. Orchestration.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I feel like a lot of that early 70s stuff, though, is just like the peak of production greatness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just sounds so good.
And I guess the most like notable thing like about the making of this album is like, I know that he had a career before this where he was kind of just more of a...
He's top 40.
Yeah, he's a radio-friendly pop guy.
Right.
Yep.
And the big deal with this was he was like, no, I'm going to like do something artistic with this and like say something.
Yeah.
Huge left turn.
And that pissed off the record label.
Of course.
Now I've got a platform. Here we go.
Yeah.
Of course.
And
it's awesome.
I had never...
It is.
I had
awesome.
never
Love it
listened
when
to
artists
Oh
do
yeah.
that. Love it.
Just great.
Yeah, and just kind of, you know, this album is so loved.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just proves that he was right.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's, you know, we always talk about, like, I don't really pay much attention to the lyrics. Like, I didn't intentionally, but, like, I felt like it made me pay attention.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it just, how could you not?
You want to talk about an easy listening voice.
Yeah.
I mean, who can top this
Yeah.
guy? I mean, it's
so articulate.
so
and just,
smooth.
Sounds effortless.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And it's like, wow, that was a great line. Like, just line after line after line. I was like, God.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Lyrically, it's just, it's peerless.
And then to the point of being a concept album, I was like, God, it's seamless. You know, like just listening to it straight through. I was like, wow.
There is a narrative that tracks through.
Yeah.
We'll get into
and
that.
it's just so smooth.
I mean, you want to talk about a strong open. I mean, what's going on to kick things off? I got a flashback to Illmatic with the conversational thing at the beginning of just like it's like they just took a recorder down to a street corner and just caught people
That's
talking.
the album that I was thinking about the most that we've done.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny you say that because I was thinking about like that and like Doggy Style, like Snoop. There's a lot of like narrative like that, like conversational stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like obviously this was the influence on all that.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? This is decades prior, but it's so interesting.
Yep.
Dude, how about the bass player?
Dude.
Nuts.
I know my note on every single song on here is amazing bass line.
Yeah.
Love the bass line.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a consistent note for me too.
So good.
Yeah.
And effortless. Like
I wanted to find the name of the bass player because I think it's one of those guys that played like he was probably like a session guy that played on like
a lot of
every like Motown record.
Of course.
Let me see if it's who I'm thinking it is. Hang on.
Yeah, just so good.
No, that soprano sax to kick it off still gives me chills listening to it. Yeah.
There's a lot of musicians on this record.
Fun backstory. You mentioned how it was effortless. The rumor is that they smoked copious amounts of marijuana to
yeah.
give it that laid back feel. So they definitely achieved
It
it.
is
The
very
rumor,
laid
yeah.
back.
It
It's
is.
almost
Oh,
like
yeah.
dreamy.
It
Like,
is.
just-
Yeah,
It's very comfortable.
Yeah.
it is.
Um,
It's funny that translates so strongly through
Yeah,
the music.
yes.
for sure.
It's just so easygoing
Yeah.
on such heavy stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh yeah, this is a dark
Dude,
album.
the line, "Don't punish me with brutality, talk to me so you can see what's going on." Just amazing.
Wait, sorry. So the bass player is James Jamerson, who, yeah, I know
I've
he's
heard that name.
yeah, just a massive Motown bass player.
Yep.
Sorry, what was the line? I was
No, you're good.
Wikipediaing.
"Don't punish me with brutality, talk to me so you can see what's going on."
Yeah.
I just thought that was amazing.
Oh yeah.
All the
Like, just hear me out.
side beats, the back. I mean,
See my side.
if you're on an album as a singer with Marvin Gaye,
Yep.
you will be overshadowed. The backing vocal guys, I thought were great.
Oh,
yeah.
Like, they
Oh
just
yeah,
beautiful,
absolutely.
beautiful.
Yeah, the harmonies and a lot of the stuff. Are
Yeah, the musicianship
fantastic.
on the album's awesome.
Yeah.
And just the simplicity, but the genius of the chorus, just what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
simple.
love it. Yeah, yeah.
So
Just-
conversational.
Yeah,
Right to it.
yeah.
And that's the it makes sense that they put this one on there. I hadn't realized that the most famous song was a starting track, but it's about I think narratively it's supposed to be about like a Vietnam veteran who's
Okay.
returning to his community.
You know,
for the
talking
first
about
time.
like picketing
Okay.
and
Yes,
all that stuff.
so
Yeah.
you've been outside of the
Yes.
consciousness for so long, so
Yeah,
it
here's
makes
what's
it be
going
like
on.
the jarring, like, oh,
Yeah.
like things are different now.
Right.
So that's meant to put you in that headspace.
Yes.
It's a good point because I feel like that was such a misunderstood war. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just a lot of,
Oh, in so many ways, yeah.
why are we there?
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I was there. Hear me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not the bad guy.
Right. I was
You
just
know,
sent there.
Yeah, I was just sent there to do my job. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's,
but I feel like it fits such a broad spectrum of things. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a timeless song.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's What's Happening, Brother was kind of a little transition track.
Yeah.
Y'all feel okay with that?
I like this one.
Yeah,
The hand pans, and is that a glockenspiel?
I thought it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of Glock.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
that ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of it.
I am
too.
too. It worked.
That dreamy quality.
Yes.
Definitely enhanced.
And
through
of course,
that.
the bass.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Tearing
I'm gonna
it
just assume that I had something to say about the bass.
Oh man, it's nuts.
Keep bringing it back.
I don't
And-
want to
and-
sound like a broken record on
No,
every track.
no, go
but
for
just,
it.
And in the bass lines also sound kind of effortless.
Yeah,
like
dude, just a guy chilling. Just,
Yeah.
it comes so easy.
Yeah. We've got a doggo.
We do. Happy wanted to talk about Marvin Gaye.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I like What's Happening, Brother, a lot too. It's a good one.
Yeah, this was my first time listening to the album, and I had no idea it was like a concept album.
I didn't
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
I didn't read anything before listening to it.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like I didn't know that there were a lot of like soul or Motown albums that were concept albums.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. I definitely have kind of always thought of Gaye as sort of a pop artist, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this to hear.
Just hits after hit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sure.
Did not give him his due.
Yeah.
With his, the subtext he was looking to put in his songs.
Yeah.
And it's funny, having heard Flying High so many times, this is a really dark song.
Yeah.
Like this is like you're back from this horrible conflict that you're so jaded by, and you're returning to this world that's got all these other issues that had been kind of like on the back burner when you're left, and this is kind of this is your coping mechanism.
Yep.
I mean, this is how so many people get into substance abuse, and it's. I mean, you touched on it earlier. This is something that's very personal to
Yeah.
Gaye. This is something that he was struggling with, with before and even after this album, I believe. But
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like the shaker, the
Yeah.
percussive elements in this one.
Yeah, it was a good song. It kind of sounded like flying, you know.
Oh yeah, he's going higher
Yeah,
vocally on this one, and that's definitely meant to really depict that mindset.
Sure.
What was next?
Save the
Oh,
Children.
Save the Children. Yeah.
Yeah, this one didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah.
Real on the nose.
Yeah.
You know, just live your life for the children.
Yeah. Sadly, this expression caught on, and it's it's a
maybe that's part of it.
There's I found an old interview with Gaye about this song where he was joking about it and said that he was hoping that this song wouldn't influence anyone.
Yeah.
Because apparently this was like this was like a common expression that was used even at that time,
Oh, really?
like early 70s, late 60s kind of thing. And he said that it just didn't do much for him, and it was all of it as like an ironic twist on the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
The song didn't do much for him, or the...
Oh no, that message, that that call for like communal action, of like save the children, and he said like, and he's like, his attitude is always like save everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
parents too, man, and people with no kids and everything. It's
yeah.
So it was kind of like flying high is about, you know, you're lapsing into drug addiction to deal with this craziness. And Save the Children is meant to embody like this, almost like a futile attempt at like a communal therapy, basically, like get people engaged and get people active and trying to solve society's issues.
Think forward.
Yes, and I mean the song I personally found kind of shallow, and I was refreshed to see that Marvin Gaye did kind of too.
Yeah,
his attitude is like, it's like it's just it's kind of a vapid expression. That really means nothing, honestly.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's, you know, it's not a great song, but yeah.
Yeah, it didn't do a lot for me.
No.
I think, you know, the first three were much stronger.
Yeah.
What
did you think of the? Did you catch on to the vocal tricks that Gaye was doing? How he had? Do you hear that? Like there's kind of like double singing.
I don't remember it off the top of my head, but
he had done a spoken word recording of this song.
Yeah.
And
Save the Children.
Yes, and they played that intermittently of him just saying the lyrics over the actual singing for it, and that gave it kind of a weird hypnotic feel to it. And I thought that was a neat effect personally. Didn't really salvage the song for me, but I heard that weird thing, and I say this a lot in our show where I try to find out what's causing this, and I was lucky enough that I actually saw that's what they were doing. That he had recorded all the lyrics, just sang them, and they just played it back over his singing.
Cool. Yeah, I do remember some spoken verses in several of these songs.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can tell you which ones, but
That's fair.
Yeah.
Did you catch the ending of Save the Children? The very end.
Remind me.
He basically just says like no one cares.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's like a kick in the shin, just like to spot it. They're like, no one gives a shit. Like this just does not. So he's lamenting that like the futility of the whole agenda and the whole notion of like getting people to get like a call to arms to to save the ambiguous children, basically.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of had a similar feel about God is love. Like I felt like it was a little corny.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's
But all the tracks are flowing nicely at this point.
Yeah. They're all
don't have a single note on the song itself.
They're all tying in for sure. It's a far more traditional song. Kind of just that steady beat with the singing. This is kind of one of those where it's I mean, as we say, the song's got to stand up on its own, and I'm with you. It's not. It's a bit of a flatliner to me, especially comparatively speaking to some of these other tracks.
Yeah.
I am glad it's on the album, knowing the overall like, I guess the purpose of it, where it's like, as Flying High is the people who kind of veer one way. I mean, this is like, for a lot of people, get super into religion in the face of communal strife, or I don't know, like you're at a kind of a roadblock in your life as the narrator.
Hardship.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, and I think Marvin Gaye has a lot of, has some background in like religious songs and that kind of thing. So I'm glad that they addressed that a little bit on this album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd rather talk about Mercy
Me.
I'm a big fan of this one.
Yes.
This song plays every day at work on a playlist that we have. Yeah, every day.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a little jaded.
It's kind of random.
Boy,
I've heard it every day for the past 3 months.
I hope it doesn't ruin it for you.
No, I mean, it's a great song.
Yeah.
I love the sax, too.
Very prominent glockenspiel again.
Oh, yes.
Love the sax.
Yeah. It's, boy, that was a trip, hearing him sing about, like, overpopulation in the lyrics. I mean, this is a song that was, I mean, we talked about in our intro, so far ahead of its time.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, no one did, like, the environment was almost like a non-issue at this point.
Seriously.
Like, it was such a fringe agenda in American culture.
Oh, yeah.
And for a guy of his popularity to include that song on his album, it's shocking that he was willing to do this.
Yeah.
Good song, though.
Yeah.
It just has that laid back feel again.
Just super laid back.
Yeah.
And the sax, too, to top it off.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah. The little interlude there at the end with the horn and the piano slide, the humming background vocals. Yes.
It's got like the ultimate just grandpa, everything will be all right vibe. You know what I mean? Like, he could say anything to you and it'd put you at ease.
It would.
It
would.
Yeah, it's got a very gentle voice.
Yes.
No kidding.
How about Ride On? Is that a flute?
I think it is.
Oh yeah. I think so.
Jam. The flute.
This one, I've always liked, just because Marvin lets the band do their thing.
Oh yeah.
Like I love the fact there's not as much singing on this one.
Yeah. I really like the lyrics in this song too.
I do too. I do too.
It's got one of those like scratch, like the wood thing.
Scratch board?
Yeah.
Yeah, or even like, remember in like music class,
the frog.
Wooden frog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was a coveted instrument in music class. Like,
for sure.
I don't feel like I ever got that.
Everyone wanted it.
Oh hell yeah.
Right.
You would get some
highly
shitty,
sought
like,
after.
You might get a plastic boom whacker when you're really going for the frog.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody wanted that frog.
Yeah.
Just rub a stick on his back.
Yeah. It's a cool effect.
I always wanted the what were they? The bass, like the massive bass bars.
Oh yeah.
Those were the sickest.
Yeah.
They were, man.
Giant wood block over the wood box.
Yeah.
Yeah, great song though.
Yeah.
I really liked Ride On.
I love that the band gets to play us out.
Yeah.
The last minute, it's just been jamming.
It was a little lengthy for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Was this the longest song on the album?
Yes.
I want to say yes.
7 minutes 30 seconds.
Oh damn! You got the length and everything.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
How about Holy?
Kind of surprising. It
real
was
slow.
Yes, that was the biggest. What stood out to me the most about it. We do get the glockenspiel back, which I'm always supportive of.
Oh yeah. You can't have enough.
No, sure can't.
Never.
The saxophone has a much more somber, just tone to it in this one.
Right.
We get I mean, Gaye is back in full force.
Oh
He's going
Come
crazy.
together, man.
Yeah, he is
Come together.
He is what kind of stood out more than anything on this track.
Right.
I'm a little, I don't know, a little confused by this one's place in the album. I would have thought that Holy Holy would have been near. You okay?
Yeah.
I could have.
Had something in my nose.
Yeah.
I feel like you almost
We're
could
good.
have moved this one back towards where you had God is Love, had those kind of closer together.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, just for the similar for the subject matter at least.
Right.
It's, you know, it didn't do much for me, honestly.
Yeah, I got kind of bored with it.
Same.
Yep. No.
How about Inner City Blues to
Oh,
close it
man.
up?
I
Do that
mean-
bass line.
Banger.
So I wouldn't talk about that anymore. But
That a strong finish for you?
dude, the
Yes.
bass and the feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, very strong closer. I
Yes.
liked it.
Unexpected, like
It
very,
was.
very different from
It was.
any of the other tracks.
Yeah,
to me.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Kind of like you said, Graham, the first three, that was definitely the strongest
Yeah.
point on this album to me.
Yeah.
It was like those were just so good, and then it was kind of me, and then you get Mercy, Mercy Me,
Yeah.
and then this.
Yeah. I like Mercy, Mercy Me, but I kind of agree that it's the first side
Oh yeah,
is
the strong side.
with the exception of like Save the Children and
Yeah.
God is Love.
Right.
But this album always comes up on lists.
It's
like,
so highly rated.
yeah, it is.
I think that is, it does kill me a little bit to say it, but I think that the contextually,
Yeah.
what it meant in the hierarchy or the trajectory of Marvin Gaye's career, I think that plays a lot into it.
Sure.
That it was so, it was unheard of for recording artists of his
Yeah.
popularity, especially in the Motown label,
Right.
to do an entire album that is so like socially conscious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Cooke did Down by the River, that song.
Yes.
That was really the only example of an artist with this label doing something like that. And that's just one song.
Sure.
So forget about doing like an entire album
Right.
dedicated to
Yeah.
Right.
social woes. So this was very much in terms of like just having like the recordings of people just talking.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
very
yeah. It's groundbreaking.
not
Yeah.
nearly as I mean we've been saying it and it still rings true. The relaxed tone of
Mhm.
all of it.
Mhm.
It doesn't have that like polished, finished, like hyper choreographed feel.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's a really
And
good
that's why I think it gets
Sure.
on all those lists
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's historically significant.
Yeah,
I
was
know.
gonna say, given the context.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, which needs to be addressed when you
for sure.
Right. As
Sure.
just an album to like, put on. I don't know. I would probably just select tracks from it.
Oh yeah.
How would you rate it?
I'd give it a 7.
Yeah.
Mainly just because I don't think as an album it's that solid for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's got really strong moments.
Mm-hmm.
Songs that I will listen to again. But yeah, as a whole, not crazy about it.
Yeah.
It's really short too. So
It is.
35 minutes,
Right.
9 songs. So if, half of those songs aren't great, it's like 15 minutes of music that I really like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I
Yeah.
mean, what do y'all think?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Yeah.
Because I like some tracks, like you said. Hey, maybe like 50% of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I can live with the rest. I like the concept feel to it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad I listened to it in its entirety.
Yeah.
You
Same.
know, I enjoyed it.
I'd always been curious.
Caught me by surprise a little bit.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
a good way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Stefan?
I'm an R&B fan. You give me the Prince of Motown. I can't give it lower than an 8.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
And I'm I don't think I'm to the casual fan, I don't know if I'd go all the way to recommend the full album. I think I'm like you. I might cherry pick a few songs.
Sure.
Say like you
Yeah.
need to listen to you need to listen to Inner City Blues. You need
Yep.
to listen to like Right On and the
Yeah.
title track, of course, which
Yep.
you probably already heard. I will probably listen to this full album again.
Yeah.
That's I can't be totally objective about this one.
Sure.
I apologize about
Sure.
that.
No,
So
that's
yeah, I would go
understandable.
8 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Whoops. Start playing Wilco.
No, you're okay. I was pretty much done.
Yeah,
Honestly.
yeah. Would you recommend it?
The full album?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say if you're the individual songs,
Yeah.
definitely. The album as a whole, I don't know. It is kind of it's hard to gauge how this music. I mean, I think this stuff is aged. Like an album like this, I think it's aged seamlessly.
Mhm.
Sure.
I don't know how people now look at this. If it's like they hear the instruments on it, I feel like to them it immediately they think of it as like dated.
Sure.
So I just don't know how to.
Strong 70s vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wonder how likely you are to find someone that will go into it with an open mind without thinking of it as like it's super old. Like
Have you ever met someone that disliked Marvin Gaye, though?
No.
I've not.
No.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah.
It's for many of them though. I think a lot of people think of Ain't No Mountain or like
Sure.
Sexual Healing. More
Right.
both great, by the way.
Yeah.
Love both of
Oh,
their
yeah.
songs very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not I don't know.
I
think
wonder how
Not
those
serious,
people
maybe.
feel about this.
Yeah, I do too. I'm sure plenty of people at Motown are still fuming over it.
Yeah.
They
Right.
might be dead by now.
Yeah,
really.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate though that because this was very successful, and but it didn't. You didn't see the. I guess you didn't see the impact of it till much later, because like
Right.
Gaye's contemporaries didn't all start producing work like
Mhm.
this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, so glad he did, and that we have
Yeah,
this. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think the album taken as a whole, I do think that I largely appreciate it because I know so much about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. I'd recommend listening to it at least once. It's,
Oh, yeah.
It's short,
Right.
and it's so historically important. It's relevant today.
Yeah.
And you're probably gonna like several of the tracks. So.
Yeah. I'd for sure recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
All right. Any closing thoughts?
That's it.
Not
That's
really.
all I've got.
Marvin Gaye. Oh, not so fun fact. Sam Cooke was also murdered, but not by his father.
Yeah.
I think that was that was more related to him personally. Like I think he had kind of a crazy life too.
Yeah, I know that there have been like documentaries on that one, and I unfortunately don't really recall
Yeah.
how he was murdered or by who.
Shot.
Is it kind of a mystery? Is it one of those deals?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I need to look into that though, because he's important too.
Well, maybe I'll just find out real quick.
While you're doing that, thank you so much for stopping by. Go listen to what's going on. The song, the album. Get into Marvin Gaye, man. Have his albums lying around. They can help you out. Feel free to like, subscribe, share this episode with whomever you like. Talk about us. Let people know that you're listening. We are 3 different ones, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, it sounds like Cook's thing is kind of there's not really a definitive answer.
Oh, it is a mystery.
Well, I don't know, some kind of sketchiness in a motel, and a kidnapping, and I don't know. Maybe we'll cover that
Maybe.
when.
Oh, he died in '64 though, so he didn't have any albums that we could cover.
Oh, because our show we do 1965 through.
Just missed us. Missed us by that much. Sorry, Sam.